Helena here, Kelly here. We are Speaker Insight, where we help speakers, authors and coaches to build a business on your terms. And
I'm bloody cold, that's what the and is.
You've been waiting to say that for
I have.
ages.
It's freezing here in the UK.
It really is. The thing is, in my house, it's even colder because we don't have central heating or anything like that. Gratitude aplenty.
Not because she's like poor or anything. It's because you live in a cottage with fires.
I live in a cottage.
That could have come across really
Yeah. Oh, it could have done. It could have done. I suppose so. Hi, everyone who's joining us at the moment. I think I can see Beth for sure, and it's all good. So we have a little bit of a fun one for you today. We're going to kind of invite you to pull some golden threads and kind of really look at the fact that we're talking about your story and the fact that your past absolutely hints at your future. So it might be that you have complete clarity about where you're at, or it might be that you are just starting out, or you maybe have some confusion. All of those can be handled by what we're talking about today. But before we do that, because we do like to allow people to grab their cup of tea and their lunch and come and join us, or in the case of Amy, good morning, coffee. For sure. So we always talk about what is the buzz in your business. So the buzz in your business is obviously the thing that is interesting for you, that might be interesting to your potential clients and your clients in that way. For us, we're really quite excited.
We're always excited, aren't we? But
this one, you know, there are milestones in your business that just kind of keep on creeping in there, and we set our own milestones. And one of the things that really does make us just so happy, because we are space holders in effect for people who want to change the world through speaking, writing and coaching.
Yeah.
And so to see the community in the Connection Hub grow in the way that it actually does. So for those of you who aren't a member, who are just joining us on Speaker Insight page, do come and join the community. Because
just pop the link in the comments for you.
Fantastic. The reason that we say that is just because the amount of conversations that are actually going on in there are phenomenal, and people are doing some incredible things. So it's a very inspiring place for us to hold space for and to be in. But the whole point that I'm trying to make is we had 123 people join in a week last week.
I think it might be our record. We might have had earlier on when we first started, but we seem to be getting like at least sort of 25 members a day.
Yeah.
And it's just growing. So, but that's thanks to you guys, right?
Exactly.
And it's also quite good because you've probably seen the big Facebook rule update that happened last week, where if you've been inviting members or adding members to your groups,
willy-nilly,
Facebook are saying if that person hasn't accepted it, or that they haven't been active in that group and haven't accepted it, that they're deleting members after 28 days. Yeah. So we did put a post about it in the Connection Hub. Yeah. And I know Bethan's here watching, but she said, oh my God, and in that week you guys had over 100 members. And that's testament to you guys, because we don't say just add people to our group. And I know Marva's watching, she's one of our top referrers. Yeah. And she basically tags the people in the post to say, this is the group I've been telling you about. And these are really good habits for you to get into.
It's a genuine connection. Yeah. That's the whole point, right? And you want people in that are actually going to be there and contribute in some way.
And another little tip that we do is we do the weekly invite welcome posts.
Yes.
So on the right-hand side of your group, you'll see how many new members you've had that week, and you can click the button that says write post, and that will tag all those people in there, and you can welcome them to the group. And that then actually gives you a chance to say what this group is about, that you want them to engage, and it helps people actually not go on that invited list and then get deleted from your group if they've been added.
It's a little bit like, sort of when you walk into a party, you kind of want to get the lowdown, the loser off to the corner, like the kitchen's over that way, help yourself to anything, this is Bob and Mary, that kind of thing.
It's that's what you're good at.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's my job, obviously.
So we've got a couple of it. It's got Lubna here saying it's heavy snowfall in the Netherlands.
Seriously?
So I would be all right. If it was snowing and cold, I'll be all right with that. When it's just cold.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Bethan's buzz in her business is a new business setup. Support from you guys, feedback on branding, clarity. Got her purpose this week. Average week then.
Average week, just a little bit. That's fantastic, hon, and we really, really love your logo as well, which is really amazing. Lubna, I want to know, what are you doing in the Netherlands? Yes, please. More information. Thank you. Now, so for those of you, and the other bit of buzz in our business, if you happen to be free tonight, one of the things that we have been doing is we have a few very rigorously chosen partners, and one of those partners is Chris Day at Filament Publishing. He runs a group called Authorcraft once a month on the fourth Tuesday of the month, and we're pleased and proud to say that we've actually partnered with him so that anybody who does actually want to go to Authorcraft, which is basically a bunch of authors and people who serve those authors, so a little bit like in the Connection Hub and what we've set out to do, so therefore the perfect partnership. And they're really sharing tips to get published, tips for marketing your books, tips for getting started writing, as well as being able to applaud those authors who are actually launching their books. So it's a really wonderful evening, full of information, full of great connections, and I'm going to be doing a 10-minute stint there this evening.
And we've got 3 Connection Hub members, haven't we, launching books? Penny Power, Brenda and Kim. They're all launching their books there tonight. So the link's in the comments, and that allows you to get a free ticket, right? So that's our partnership agreement. Anyone in the Connection Hub or who is a Speaker Insight fan can go to those events for free. They'd normally be £25 a ticket. So go into the Connection Hub and just look at the post that's called #author support, and you've got all the details there on how to apply for that. But that's the Eventbrite link I've put in there. And that's really exciting. So for those of you who I'll see later on, I'm looking forward to it. I'll look forward to seeing who that is. Now, the one other thing is, just because we find it a fun exercise, #replay. So some of you are joining us live. We absolutely love that, and we understand that with a global community that's not possible, or you don't have sort of the time available right here and now. These trainings are designed to be rewatchable, and in fact we know that we have several of our trainings that are actually watched over and over again. Really so if you are actually starting to watch this, once we've stopped rambling, there will be a huge amount of really good stuff. #replay, pop it in the comments, because we like to see what gets played over and over, because it helps us understand what other training might well be needed, or the deeper dives that we could do, which is good. So let's get into it. Let's do it. Right. Now, here's the thing. A lot of the time, we come across people. One of the things that we're very good at is kind of holding space for people to actually find the you at the center of the business and make that business grow with you at the center of it, but not necessarily, sort of actually basing everything around you, building up the business around it so it can make its impact. Part of how you do that is we call it pulling the golden thread. So it's, if you're a speaker, author or coach with a lot of strings to your bow, you've done a whole bunch of training, you offer a variety of services, you can advise on many different areas, you wear several different hats. That can actually be really difficult then to find a really natural way to succinctly show up as you online representing your business. The whole business. Exactly. And it might be, if you stumble over the words when you try and introduce yourself, because am I doing this today or am I doing that today? I don't know exactly what I'm doing. Or, just even effectively marketing yourself out in the world in a really kind of specific way. It can be a problem, and it's definitely something that we help people with. So we thought we'd actually kind of debunk a little bit and give you some food for thought. So for those of you who haven't gone to get pen and paper, what are you thinking? Go get it now. It's a Facebook Live.
It is. So here's the thing. Think of your life as a tapestry. And, what we're suggesting here is that when you look at a tapestry, there's going to be a golden thread that runs all the way through it. Something that catches your eye, catches your attention, that's actually kind of standing out. A theme, if you like, that stands out. And all of us have it. And some of you may know what yours is, and some of you may well still be looking. The point about this is that it sometimes takes a bit of time to see and make sense of what your story actually kind of tells you. But you can use all of your experiences and your learning to really help identify that. So we're going to help you identify your purpose, your passion, your gift, your cause, even your business model through the golden thread that runs through your life. And you can do that by really kind of pulling on that thread. So if you think about this, so there are really kind of 4 core areas, maybe 5, but four for sure, that you could look at that help you identify what that golden thread is. Kelly and I will both share what ours is in a moment. So, and if you know what yours is, if you know that you absolutely understand your core theme, by all means pop it in the comments below, because we do love to hear a little bit of that. But here's the thing. If you look back over your life and you think about the experiences that you seem to always have, so for some of you, we know this to be a truth for some, when you intuitively always bump into the right people, that could be a theme. It's like right place, right time might be one of the themes that actually kind of works for you.
Synchronicities,
exactly.
Patterns that reoccur in your life, those types of things.
Yeah. And then, so that might be some of it for some of you, or maybe you recreate the same experiences over and over and over in a good way, maybe it's all about adventure. That kind of thing can also be part of the theme that actually helps you identify how you might show up and stand out in the world. The other, for the two of us, the thing you always talk about, like the thing that actually really has your attention, that deliciously holds and captivates you, that you could speak about for hours, the thing that you might do a TED Talk on off the top of your head if it was offered to you right here and now. That, the fire in your belly, is possibly the thing that might actually be your theme. So, I know I met somebody recently who, saving the oceans, that's their thing. That's their thing.
It's the thing that if someone crossed your values about it, you'd stand up, right? You'd have that green flag in the sand and you'd actually stand for that, and you'd fight for them because it's something you're really passionate about. And it's the thing that you find yourself, as Helena said, reading about, watching about, even without being told to, because you have to write a blog about it.
That's right.
It's your natural go-to instinct topic or area.
You're interested in it. And because you're interested in it, you don't mind working hard. I've just been re-listening to Angela Duckworth's Grit book. And, she says the thing that you're interested in and that's hard is kind of one of those golden thread sort of moments. It might come down to your personality, your style, your qualities. So think about the way that other people always introduce you or describe you. That might give you a clue to what your golden thread is.
Definitely my golden thread, right? Which you'll find out.
Definitely is. Definitely. I was about to say mine as well, but holding on to it. So we've got the experiences, the things you always talk about or read about, the way that other people describe you, the traits, the qualities, the personality. The skills that you have is another set of things. So what have you actually been building up your expertise in? So what are you really good at, as well as what have you studied for? What are your natural talents? These might give you a clue as well to what is the golden thread.
And some of those things could be right back to child, right?
Completely
so you could have been a great listener as a kid, and then you've gone through and that listening skill of yours has been shown. You were a mentor when you were at university, and then you went and studied a psychology degree, and then you became a counsellor. And see how that skill of listening has been all the way throughout your life. So it's really good not just to think about your adult life when we're talking about this golden
right
thread.
back.
We want you to go right back, and we do this at the retreat, which I know a lot of you who are watching this today have been on our retreat. We go right back into your milestones of your life from day one.
Yeah.
So it's a really good thing. Don't stop yourself just by thinking
That's right.
about your adult life.
Don't go from university onwards. Kind of go right the way back. And when we say skills, we don't necessarily learn skills in an educational environment. We learn skills through the experiences that we choose. So what is it that you're good at, and what kind of captivates your interest? I'm a maker. I love making things. I love building things. But more on that. So we've got the experiences, the things you always talk about or read about, the way that other people describe you, the skills that you have, the learning that you've done, and of course, it wouldn't be a Facebook Live without this one, the avatar that you support, the person, the hopes and dreams you have for the people that you're able to support. They may well be a clue to the golden thread that actually kind of ties everything you do together. And the reason that we're doing this is because it just makes it easier for you to show up in the world and have that green flag in the sand. So you can say, this is what I stand for, this is what I represent, this is what I do and create in the world. This is the contribution I am.
And when you're out networking, rather than attempting to explain all the jobs and the roles that you do, you lead with the thread. So if you say, if people say, what do, you actually go, I'm a really great listener. Yeah. That's what I do in life. Or, you know, I am somebody who, I don't know, is really passionate about the oceans. Mm-hmm. And so there might be lots of strings to your bow of how you work or why you're doing that golden thread, but it's a real neat way in to have a big picture of describing what you do rather than actually just the detail.
I make sense of money. Like, you know, that kind of thing. It's the one... I can spend money. I quite like that. I was actually thinking about Ian Kay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
so, I was channeling somebody else because, of course, we know our avatars really well. So the whole point about this, I'm going to slap her later. So the whole point about this is that your past and present help you to identify the golden thread. And it really does tie everything together. And that's what we want for you, because the whole point about being someone who is a tree shaker, a change maker out there in the world is that unless you can, with clarity, certainty and confidence, express who you are and what you do in 1 or 2 lines, then you're going to lose people's attention. And that isn't what we want for you. So part of your USP, your unique selling proposition, is really to ensure that you know this. Now, for me, it's training. For me, it's teaching in this way. Helena the trainer is definitely a way to remember how to pronounce my name, but also actually it's if you cut me open, that's what I would be doing. I will find a way to teach you something in a 2-minute conversation.
Tiny teachers.
Tiny teachers, that's exactly it. And I've been doing tiny teachers since I started in my own business. And this is apparently, you know, sort of like, as Kelly said, go back through your past. When I was 4, I was actually teaching, like, had an attentive crowd of other peers in my sandbox. I was teaching them how to make sand castles. Apparently there is photographic evidence of this, but this is exactly the thing. I understand the logic behind things and I teach. I cannot not teach. It is the thing that runs through everything that I am. So I have chosen to put that at the center of what I do and build the business around that. Yeah. And that's really the invitation here for you. You can use the thing that really is who you be to help you develop your business.
And that's when you introduce yourself. You always introduce yourself as Helena the trainer, right? Because that's that golden thread that goes through helping you shine, speaker insight, all the various hats and roles that she has. Yeah. She's always there on the training because that's the skill, that's the passion, that's the thing that's been consistent through all of your careers.
I mean,
right?
the very first iteration, and by the way, we are saying that you may well have iterations. The very first company I started, you know, in my innocence, knowing that training is the thing that runs through me, was a company called Workshops That Work, which I still run workshops around. But it's exactly that. My passion was for training delivered well. So I was helping other people develop their trainings so that they are actually kind of working. Yeah. So you get that if you really dig, you'll see instance after instance of you doing the thing that you are really loving.
And Lubna's the same. She's also a trainer from a young age. You've got a trainer at heart there.
Yay, it's good. So what about you?
So looking slightly different because my golden thread is also based on a skill rather than a passion.
A trait or
And I'm sure all of you know me on here, know my highest value is structure. And structure and assimilation has been my golden thread, again, throughout the whole of my life. So if I go right back to when I was younger, I used to have a diary, and when I was younger I used to write in daily, and at the back of the diary I'd create bar graphs for the results that I got in my exams.
I love it.
And I'd have it, so every year I could actually compare if I've overachieved or underachieved or and then I'd work out my average score of all of my exam results so I'd know. So I'd literally be, I am the geek, I love being the geek, but this whole having to assimilate knowledge and create structure and then know what I need to do next and create a plan has been consistent through childhood and then all the way through now to having my speaker agency and working with speakers, authors and coaches in Speaker Insight.
Yeah.
That skill and that thread is what people love about working with me, because you guys have got the big pictures, you've got the ideas of how you're going to change the world, but until you get detail and structure around, well, how do I actually make that happen, it just stays a dream. So that has been a real strength of mine, and I own it now. And it's been throughout, whether I've been a psychologist, whether I've been a nutritionist, whether I've been an educational psychologist or teacher or whatever, that training of assimilation of knowledge is key, right? So we can think about all of these.
I'm just going to say this, and there's a couple of really good wows. And by the way, you got a whole bunch of love for that, just so that you're aware.
A geek, right?
Yeah, that's right. Thank God for that, because otherwise we wouldn't have the attention that we have. But the key thing that I want to pull out there, always the trainer, so I just want to summarize and make sure you got it. But the owning of the thing that is you, the thing that is your golden thread, comes with time potentially, because sometimes we don't know it, and then when we do know it, we're actually a little bit hesitant and scared around, some people run that pattern of, oh, but can I get paid for doing the thing I love, or the thing that actually comes so naturally to me that it doesn't even occur to me to value it. So I'm just actually kind of really highlighting that sometimes it takes us a little while for us to identify it and then own it, and then go out in the world proudly holding that green flag.
And I think it changes, right? The more that you develop and the more your career develops, the more the golden thread either strengthens or the more you can articulate it. So, and some of you might be struggling right now. So I want to give you a couple of examples, because some of you are probably going to be trying to fit square pegs in round holes.
That's
going,
it.
This doesn't fit.
Or you're going to be yanking at the golden thread so much that actually you have threadbare patches, right? So don't do that.
I have no idea what that means, but I don't do knitting or tapestries. But it might be a mess. Anyway, so let me use a couple of examples. One obviously that I know really well is my husband, Richard Tyler. So he's got a real varied background. So he started off as playing the lead in West End productions. So he was Phantom in Phantom of the Opera and leads in Les Mis and all those types of things. And so he'd been doing that for 15, 20 years. When he left, it was like, I'm going to start something new. I've never trained in anything. I've never done anything. So he learned a lot of psychological mindset, CBT, NLP, ACT, basically any psychological thing that's got three
letters. That's what I was just going to say. I was like, really?
He's basically trained in that. So then he learned all these mindset psychological things. And now what he does is he goes into large corporations and teaches them about leadership performance, how to get extraordinary results, how to jolt your industries, basically. So you're thinking, well, hang on a minute. He's got these three elements. He's got performing arts, he's got mindset, and he's got corporate leadership. How does he describe himself succinctly? And obviously, he's got me as a wife, so I help him with this. But his whole thing is he's built a whole company around artful leadership. Where he goes into these corporates and he brings jazz bands and he brings artists and singers in. So corporates learn about change management and team development and extraordinary performance through the art, through the lens of performance. They get stretched in their comfort zones. They learn how to be creative as leaderships, which all these things aren't normally nourished in that environment. And then he adds with the training, whether it's one-to-one in corporate training, or the hypnotherapy, the CBT, to actually change their actual performances and their results in their business to get extraordinary results.
And I do want to make this point, because a lot of people fall into this. A lot of people will describe themselves as, for example, an NLP coach. But the thing about that is that is only a vehicle that gets to the result of something. What we're talking about in terms of your golden thread is that that's actually the thing that you use to ensure that they get the transformational result that they're wanting and desiring. So remember, it's always about the avatar and the desired outcome that they're actually wanting. The training that you have, even the skills that you have, they're a vehicle that allows you to create that transformation. The golden thread that actually kind of pulls all of this together becomes your way to entice and describe what you do that then allows people to engage with it and go, yeah, I want some of that.
Or get curious
Exactly.
at least, right?
It's all about an intrigue frame.
When he says, oh, I help leaders have artful leadership skills, they're like, what the heck does that mean?
Yeah.
But
heart in a really good way, right?
So that's one thing. So that's how I want you to think about, as Helena said, let's package it up. Let's see if there's a theme that runs through, and let's focus on the outcome that you provide for that person in a description way.
Yeah.
That's boring. The unique pitch is not the thread. The unique pitch is the thread, not the qualifications. Jack, completely. Now, there is another thing. For example, you might be like another one of our members, Stephanie Bosch. And she basically is also a corporate trainer. She helps CEOs explore their dark side. Yeah. But she also has another business, which is a jewelry training business. Yeah. So we were having a conversation in the Connection Hub a couple of weeks ago about this, and she was like, what do I do? Yeah. Because actually, this is the square peg, round hole scenario. Yeah. There is no golden thread between these two. Well, there is, because there's some training elements. Yeah. But it's not something she'll want to market. So her jewelry training business, when I discussed it with her, she set this up because it's a skill and a knowledge area she has. Yeah. However, this is not what Helena said before. It's not her passion. It's not her purpose. Basically creates a residual stream of income for her that
facilitates everything else, right?
Yeah. So that is there, and that's in the background. What she is building and what she loves and where her passion is exploring the dark side, consultancy. Yeah. So what I said to her is, that's fine. Any marketing that you do for the jewelry business needs to be under the brand of the jewelry business. Yeah. So that it's there in its own little entity, and it works and it operates. Any of her social media accounts should not talk about the jewelry business at all. That should all be focused on her dark side business, her coaching. So that when an avatar comes to this Twitter or Facebook page, they see that she's always talking about this. It's all consistent messaging, which we've done many Facebook Lives
on. You can look those up.
If you basically then throw in something about a jewelry business, people go, what? Has she been hacked? Is this like, what's this about? It throws people. So we are not saying don't have multiple streams of income.
No, we're saying talk about the golden thread.
Yeah. Don't try and force one to happen if it's not there.
Yep.
If it's not there, think of something separate way to have a separate marketing strategy around that under a brand and not you at the heart of your business. Yep. And you might have other things. You might have a property portfolio investment, but these are not the things that when you go to an internet network marketing meeting, networking. Good. It could be network marketing, but when you go to a networking meeting, you talk about the thing that is your passion, is your purpose, is your golden thread, the thing basically that you want to be known for. That's the really important thing. When other people are describing you or saying, oh, you need to connect with this person, what's the thing that you're known for rather than all the other things that you do?
Exactly. So we are saying that multi-passionate people can absolutely do those things on the basis that it is on your terms. But the golden thread is the thing that that either allows you to pull everything together or allows you to actually go, this is the one I want to highlight out in the world and the one I want to show up representing, if you like. And then you can use other brands to simply do all of the other stuff, or simply do that quietly because it facilitates you making the difference that you want to make in the world.
Yeah. I get that.
It's a really soapboxy one.
Well, also, Beth was saying it's really beautifully the clarity in describing that's great, and for interesting for people with multiple passions. Yeah, you're not a shopping list of things you can do, just the thing that you're selling, representing, being. Love that description. Yeah,
nice one.
Jack. Okay.
She's good at pitching, is Jack. if you have any troubles with that,
because that's what she's known as. She's known as someone to go to learn for pitching.
Exactly. And here's the thing, like in her experience, like she could be teaching anybody to pitch, but she's actually choosing, because it's a love of hers, the artists. Yeah. And so
the musicians,
exactly,
the people in the performance space, because they don't know how to pitch.
Exactly. And so she's married a skill that she has and a passion that she has as her golden thread. So you can see these are the things that come together to create the next steps for you.
And remember that Jack's, she works in the corporate environment. That's where the understanding of pitching comes from, because of doing big bids and big proposals for corporates. But that's not what she talks about on social media.
Not at all. Not at all. So again, we get to choose, and that's the delight. Now, so here's how to use it. And I'm gonna actually do 3 scenarios for you. So once you've kind of begun to identify, these are my golden threads, or these are the potential golden threads that I actually have, what you can actually do is, it really does depend on what stage of the business that you're in, whether speaker, author, or coach, or a combo of those. Really, for us, there are, hello.
That's my dog.
How exciting. You could watch your microphone. So, depending on the stage of business, so you could well be already in business, and you could already be making sure that you are using your golden thread. You've centered it around the business. So for example, Richard, that we just talked about, he's definitely got that nailed. Now, the key here is to start using the origin stories. How did this golden thread come about? How did I discover it? What are the little, it's like my sandcastle story, charts in the back of a book.
Don't look at me with such disgust about my bar charts.
No, that was admiration, honey. That was admiration, because truly I wouldn't have been caught doing it. Having said that, though, I did a similar thing with graph paper, but for different reasons. Anyway, the point about this is
I used to score my boyfriends on how well they kissed. I was back on, in this book, there was like they were a 6 out of 10, they were a 4 out of 10. I would chart everything.
Oh my God.
Anyway, go back.
I love this piece of information about you. I think we should just end right there. That's it. No, let's not end right there. So if you already are in business and you're already kind of aware of it, I so want to see what that says now, because there's going to be like pings everywhere right now. So if you already are, then help people understand why your golden thread is your golden thread, because it allows you to actually really build your following in that way by speaking about your golden thread and by really ensuring that people see the stick of rock kind of word that runs through you in this way. It also means that you can pick out tiny stories that allow them to see how you came to be who you be. It's like, the Wizard of Oz, like looking behind the curtain, and actually people want to know. They want to get to know you.
But
so
that's
use
where
those
the
stories.
Authentic comes
Exactly.
from, right? They can see that you've not just jumped on the bandwagon of a gap in the market.
Yeah.
This has been running throughout your life all the time. It's part of your DNA.
Yeah, and it helps them trust you a lot more. So that's the first set of people. If you've already got it and you know it, start unearthing the stories and packaging up the stories so that people understand how that's contributed to what you do now. For some of you, you might actually be shifting into the way that we've both talked about. You might be shifting into a new iteration. I started with workshops that work, then went to Helping You Shine, and now here I am with this brand that we're doing together because I love collaboration. And that's been another little kind of thread, maybe not the golden one, that's kind of run through my world. But if you're shifting into a new iteration of what you do, you're maybe adding an element to it. It might well be that you're an author who is looking at becoming a speaker. That kind of expansion really is kind of enlarging your tapestry, if you like. Just see how the way to bring your golden thread in is to become more present in the business that you're doing, and really bring in all of those elements and really begin to stand in the power of that and see how it fits. Like, you're in experimentation phase, so allow that to be the case and allow it to be okay for you to really take that on and claim the golden thread and start to put it front and center. So that's the second lot of you. And for some of you, you might just be starting out and you're going, I'm not quite sure what my golden threads are. You don't even know what they are.
You're in a great place, right?
Yes, I know. You can build it from the start. You don't have
to go and unravel it all. You're basically there going, okay, I'm at a clean slate.
That's it.
Let me know what I want to put out
How
there.
do I want to pull in my golden thread to this beautiful tapestry? It's a bit like, sort of, you don't actually have to undo anything. You simply kind of begin to gather and then go, how do I want to lay the golden thread on top of that? So, but the clues for your experience, your passion, your skills, the way that people describe you, those will help you to highlight what might this be. So it might actually be that, Kelly used the example earlier of listening. It might actually be that for the writers in here, you loved books as a child, you kept writing, you got really good marks in your essays, you couldn't not write, for example. That might be a clue there to what you might want to do. It's this whole, we both actually love structure, which is why we've ended up coming together. And the thing about it is that we love having the structures that support things that change the world.
Yeah, that's the thing, is what structure enables you guys to do. So we've
That's
both got the passion of working with, you know, change makers, people that are making a positive difference on the planet.
Yeah.
And we know that as creators, as many as you are,
Yeah.
the structure, the detail, the process is normally the thing that you lack.
Yeah.
Which is why we can offer so much support for you, whether it's in our Changemaker membership, whether it's at our retreats, or Connect and Create days, or just in the Connection Hub,
just in the conversations that happen.
And so that's our joint. That's why we work really well together.
Yeah. So these are the kind of touch points where if you start to look at your life as that tapestry, you go, okay, what are the colours that are showing up in this, and what's the thing that keeps reappearing? Because the thing that keeps reappearing is probably the thing that you want to be hooking everything else on. So, what do they do next?
It's time. Just go back. Have some time. Have some downtime without any interruptions. Some quiet time to actually gather your stories.
Yes.
Okay. So just go back, and at the retreat we chunk your life into decades.
Yeah.
So between the ages of 1 to 10, think about common themes, common skills, common traits that were coming up, and then when you're at primary school, then go on and on all the way to the age that you are now.
Yeah.
And let's see if we can pick out some commonalities between the stories.
Yeah.
We'd also encourage you to ask other people. Right?
Definitely.
This is the time, people that you know, like and trust. Tell them about how would they describe you, what do they think are your USP points. Lots of people have done this. I know Dilys did this in her group recently. Just say, use 3 words to describe me.
Exactly.
And that's a great way of actually getting insight. I think Bethan might have done this as well. I'm not sure, Beth, if you
Quite
did.
a few people have.
Yeah,
it's a really good... It feels like a courageous thing, but just hit the send button and ask, because actually you will be beautifully surprised.
Yeah. And then let's just map out the commonalities, right? If you see a word cropping up quite a lot, let's circle that on your stories. Let's circle it on people's feedbacks.
Yeah.
And let's start thinking, this is an element of us of going back to our purpose and our passion.
Yeah.
So when you know who you want to serve, your avatar,
Yeah.
you know your skills, your attributes, the value you can bring to those people, the why you want to do it, why it's so important
the passion.
for you. And then looking at all of your experiences, your qualifications, your history.
Yeah.
Then we can start seeing this golden thread and go, I've only been speaking about this.
But actually,
it's much bigger.
It's this, which is really good.
So that's the things we want you to do. And then once you've got an idea of what your golden thread is, tell us.
Please do.
Right,
because...
come back, watch the replay, tell us in the Connection Hub, get feedback on it, right?
Yeah.
Because this golden thread, as we said at the beginning of this live,
you can
could
use
be
it.
how you introduce yourself.
Yeah, you can use it for so many things. You can use it as part of your messaging. You can use it as part of, some of that story is going to go into the about you. You can use it as the stories that you weave things into, as the metaphors that you actually work. As soon as you start to click about why you might click for them, that is the golden thread.
Yeah.
So we encourage you tremendously to A, find it, and B, share it, because we love to know, because it helps us serve even better. So you've got some work to do, most probably.
As always.
Yeah, and that's what we
love. We might see
love.
some of you at Authorcraft tonight.
Yes, please.
If not, next week on the live.
Yep, 1:00. See you on Tuesday.
Have a good week.
Bye-bye.
Wrap up.
Yes, she's about to, I can tell you.